Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our weekly personal development hangout. I am really excited to share with everyone again tonight and to learn. And tonight we are going to be discussing chapters 7 and 8 out of the book we've been reading, The First Year in Network Marketing. And now you will notice that this book is a little bit outdated, and it definitely came to light in these two chapters. So we are going to highlight some good things that were said in these two chapters, but we're also going to bring us up to par and back to the future of 2015 in this webinar as well. So in this chapter, he talks about eluding the meeting minds. And so one of the first things that got brought up was in network marketing, our mouth is the storefront, our mouth is the advertising department. There's a very low overhead in network marketing, and that's why we get paid so well in network marketing, is because there is no storefront. So the more that you open your mouth, the more that you share the products, the more that you share the opportunity, the bigger your paycheck's going to be. The less you open your mouth, the smaller your paycheck's going to be. With that said, you know, effective meetings are very key in this business. They're very helpful, not only for those of us that have been in the industry for a while, but also for brand new people. There are all kinds of different meetings. There are opportunity meetings. There are training meetings. Companies have conferences like, you know, semi-yearly or yearly conferences. So there are all kinds of different meetings to go to. So the first thing that he talked a little bit about is hotel meetings. And this kind of does date this a little bit. A lot of companies, when this book was written, their corporate people were not doing training. It was just the leaders doing training. So keep that in mind as we're talking about this. So basically what he was saying was hotel meetings are not very effective, and the reason why is because network marketing is a people business. It's about building relationships with people, building that trust, building that rapport, and hotel meetings are not very personable. They're very stiff, especially if you walk into hotel meetings where people are dressed to the nines, or in these $3,000 suits, and you know, you come in there as a guest, you know, in your jeans. You feel very uncomfortable, very out of place. It doesn't feel homey. It doesn't feel comfy. Whereas in a home setting, it does feel very comfy and very cozy, and everybody kind of comes in and gets to know each other a little bit better, and it doesn't matter how you're dressed. Hopefully people aren't in their pajamas like you see out sometimes, but you know, you don't have to be decked out in a suit. So the other thing about trainings as a whole in this business is that you want to be duplicatable. The key to success in this business is being duplicatable. And two reasons why hotel meetings cannot be duplicatable is, first of all, a lot of people have a public fear of speaking. That's actually the #1 fear in the world. And so if you were to walk into a hotel meeting and there's 300 or 400 or 500 people there, and you see someone speaking, and you have a fear of speaking, your first thought is, I could never do that. This is not for me. This is just not something that I could ever do. The other, whereas if you're in a little home environment in a smaller setting, you could do that. You could get, you know, 5 of your friends together and you could talk to them. Some people, even in a home setting, they're not standing, they're sitting. They're sitting with their guests, and they're at eye level with them, you know, and it's not a I'm above you, it's you know, we're in this together, let me show you this opportunity. So it makes the guests and the people that are presenting more comfortable. Hotel meetings also can be very expensive. I don't know if you've ever tried to rent a room at a hotel to do a opportunity meeting or any kind of training, but they're very, very, very expensive. And they want to charge you not just for the room, but chairs, water. They will add on anything that they can add on. And so, you know, people get into this business to make money, and they see that, you know, oh, this person's putting this on in this big, huge ballroom in a hotel. How many thousands of dollars did this cost? So, hotel meetings create dependency. You know, we get into this business, and it's funny because, you know, almost all of us say you're an independent distributor. We are trying to create independence, yet when you're having people go to hotel meetings, you're teaching them to be dependent on those people. You know, these are your people. These are your guests. They have the relationship with you. And they're going to get so much more out of it if you're the one doing the presentation and you're the one conducting the meeting or the training. This one, I loved this in the book because this is so true. You will find people in your organization that will literally jump from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. They go to meetings everywhere they can go to. It doesn't matter who's putting them on. They've always got something to learn. They've got 85 notebooks full of notes, and yet they've never signed up one customer or signed up one distributor, and they just are busy going to meetings. But the bottom line is that, you know, if you're not growing your business, you're not growing your paycheck. So it's good to go to meetings, but there definitely needs to be that balance. We can all learn, but you don't need to be going to 3, 4, 5, 6 meetings a week, or, you know, or even a month. You know, I think one meeting, maybe 2 a month, is plenty. Because the fact is that it didn't bring this up in this book, but we also have so much training we can access online that there's no reason that you need to be taking 6 days away from your family to go to meetings. Also, hotel meetings or other meetings in bigger places, they create laziness amongst your team. And you don't deliberately mean to do that, but your team gets the impression of, oh, I just have to bring my guests here. So-and-so is going to do the presentation. I can just sit back and eat bonbons and drink coffee and hang out with my guests, and so-and-so is going to do all the work. You're teaching them that you don't have to do the work, so then when they come aboard, they're not going to do the work. When the next person comes aboard, they're not going to do the work. So it creates a pattern of laziness. Hotels, and I've seen this happen before, actually, where they have a very low turnout. You go into this big, huge ballroom that's seated for a couple hundred people, and there's like 7 of you in the room. And people take notice of that. Whereas in your home, if you have 3 or 4 people, that's cozy. They don't say, oh, where's the other 55 people? I don't see them here, you know. So, again, it creates a different environment. Hotel meetings or other public meetings are not private. So a lot of times doctors and lawyers and very big business professionals don't want to kind of be seen in that environment. And I will say that has changed a little bit. You know, 20 years ago, doctors and lawyers were not nearly as open to network marketing as they are now. There are doctors and lawyers all over the world now that see what a great opportunity this is, and they're not so embarrassed anymore, and they don't feel like they need to hide it anymore. So, but there still are some people out there that do have that mentality, and they would prefer to be in a private setting. Hotel meetings don't exemplify freedom because basically you're on someone else's schedule. You know, if you're going to someone else's meeting, you have to do it on their time. You have to do it at their location. You have to drive there. That's not freedom. You know, if you're doing your own trainings and your own meetings, then you pick the time that they are, and that's your freedom. So, hotel meetings can create the illusion of saturation. that can happen, especially in small towns. If people happen to go into a meeting somewhere and they see 200 or 300 people, they're going to be like, oh, there's a distributor on every corner that sells this. I'm never going to make it anywhere in this business. This isn't for me. We all know it doesn't matter what business you're in, network marketing is never going to be saturated. It just keeps getting better and better and better. The opportunity gets better for us, and we all know that saturation is just not something that's ever going to happen, but new people don't understand that. New people see it as storefronts. They look at every single one of us as a store. So they look at 400 JCPenney's sitting in this one room, you know, and it overwhelms them. Hotel meetings do not promote personal development. You know, when you're conducting your own trainings, and you know, you're going to make mistakes along the way. That's normal. I've got all kinds of stories I can tell you about mistakes I've made, and I'm sure that Marianne can do the same thing. But hotel meetings, you know, when you're having someone else do all the work, you're not personally developing. And, you know, even on this, when we've got our guests coming on, like we've got Mary tonight, when she's speaking, she's growing and she's developing, and, you know, she's improving on her public speaking skills, and I'm so proud of you for coming on and joining us again. So the other thing that he talked about is hotel meetings should be used for special occasions. So like I was saying earlier, you know, if your corporate comes to town, corporate's going to have their meeting in a hotel. They're not going to have it in your house. They love you, but it's not going to happen. You know, conferences, stuff like that, they're always going to happen in a hotel or a big environment, but they're special occasions. The second mind that he brought up was part-time adult daycare, and basically what that means is you are a store. So remember that. You are a storefront. You have hours. You need to set your hours. You do not need to have a revolving door open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where people can think they can come to your house at 2 o'clock in the morning or in the middle of your dinner time. You need to set hours for people, because you will have people that will start banging down your door if you don't set those hours. And I actually got stuck in that rut one time. So I didn't even realize it, but I was like, well, they're coming over. They want to buy stuff. You know, I'm letting them come over, but your store will be open tomorrow. If they don't come within the hours you're open, they will come back. The church service, that's the third mind. And basically, if you don't teach your front line, they're not going to teach their front line. They're not going to teach their front line. So, you know, let's say that you start out with an organization of 10 people. The next thing you know, you've got an organization of 50 people. The next thing you know, you've got 200. How are you going to fit all 200 of these people in your house? So it's very important from the very beginning that, you know, you're a student now, but you're a teacher next week. You know, show them how you do your opportunity meetings, but then they need to get out there and they need to be doing these meetings themselves. The fourth mind, the deception meeting. I've been invited to these before too. These are not only effective, but they can truly damage friendships. And the deception meetings are the, oh, come to my house, I'm having a dinner party, or come to my house, I'm having bunko night with the girls, or I'm having a curiosity thing at my house. You need to be upfront with people. Look, I've got a fabulous opportunity that I'd love to sit down with you for about an hour and share with you not only the products, but to share the business side of it with you. Be honest with people, because if they don't know what they're coming over for and they get blindsided, I guarantee you they're not going to be a part of your organization or a part of your company, and they're probably not going to be your friends after that. So the fifth line is the office meeting. He, in the book, kind of refers to that as the hotel meeting because, again, it's stiff, it's not personable, it's not cozy, it's not comfy. But the big thing about the office meeting is that, first of all, you're creating overhead. And we don't want overhead. You know, if we wanted overhead, we would just go franchise a Desert Sun Tanning or a Starbucks or something else. We don't want overhead. The other thing is that you know, most people work 40 hours a week in an office. They are looking into network marketing to get out of the office. They don't want to go from their office to your office. They don't want anything to do with that 8 by 8 cubicle. So inviting them to the office is not the best way to go about this. The sixth mine is the bar restaurant meeting. And I will tell you that this chapter is where, like, we needed to update a little bit because it's when it started talking about VCRs and things. And I was like, some of these people that are in our Hangouts probably don't even know what a VCR is. So, nowadays, you will find that there are a lot of restaurants or public places that do have private rooms. And a lot of them even have TVs that you can hook your laptops up to and use as a monitor to do presentations. So when I have gone to locations out of town, I have actually done presentations in places like this. I do make sure that there is no background music, that there, isn't any kind of noises like TVs blaring somewhere, loud people. I need my room to be quiet. And, a lot of times I just eat there, a couple of the other people eat there, because I like to have those on the week anyways during the evening. And so they're eating dinner, and it's fine. It's not a huge expense for anyone, and it works out fine. But again, you don't want to just walk into a bar where you've got people watching the, Monday night football game and try to conduct a meeting that way, because it's not going to happen. The seventh mine is the other guy's place. Hey, Joe, can I have a meeting at your house? They don't know Joe. People feel really weird about going to someone's house that they don't know. Again, these are your people. It's your house. And the other thing about doing it in your house is that you can control the distractions. You can say, during this time, this is adults only. I'd appreciate it if you left the kids at home. If you have it at someone else's house, you could walk into 8 kids in there screaming, riding their bikes down the hallway. Who knows what's going on? But, it's not your house. So you can't make the rules, so you've got a lot there that's out of your control. The eighth mine is technology. And the biggest technology that they had in this book, I think, was email. So basically, technology has come a long way. So what I took from this book that I would share with you now at current time, 2015, is use the technology that your company has implemented. Don't feel like you need to go out and create your own website. Your company has a website. Your company has training videos. Your company has tutorials. Share those tutorials. Use what your company has to offer for your people. Don't feel like you need to go out and reinvent the wheel, because the wheel's spinning just fine. So the whole bottom line here was that you've got to make your meetings duplicatable. Opportunity meetings. You might change, the location, depending on if you're going, to a different city. You might be presenting in, other people's houses. You might be presenting here on a webinar. You might be doing it in your own home. However, wherever you do it, always do the same opportunity meeting. My company has opportunity meetings every Tuesday night. They have different presenters, but they are the same opportunity meeting. We have opportunity calls that are on the same days, the same times of every week. And I'm sure that almost everyone else's companies offer the same thing. They're duplicatable. They're over and over and over and over. So always make sure that your meetings are duplicatable. Start by having your meetings in your house, working with the people in your city. This is your warm market, like we've been learning about in the book. It's a lot easier to have your friends over in your house and do your first opportunity and your first training meeting with them than it is to do it online for an international team in Italy. Let your friends be your guinea pigs, and let them critique you and let them help you out. And you can do your meetings on Skype, Google Hangout, WhatsApp. There are several different social media sites that you can use to do opportunity or training meetings with your team on. So the beauty about doing webinars like this too is that people, I'm going to be honest with you guys, My house, I haven't dusted this week. I haven't vacuumed yet. But you don't know that. So that's the beauty of doing things online also, is that, you know, people don't see the size of your house. And you know, it's not even the size of your house that matters when you have guests over. It's just having a clean house and making them comfortable. So the best times to do your trainings are on the weekdays. You know, we picked this webinar on Thursdays on purpose. People like to spend time with their families on the weekends. They go camping in the summertime. They go on vacations. You've got kids in sporting activities. So you will find that doing your meetings during the week is the best time to do them. You will get the biggest response and the biggest turnout. So you are going to have no-shows. Know that that's normal. You know, about 30 to 50% of the people you invite will come. So if you want to have 10 people come over to your house, you should invite 25 to 30 people. Don't take it personally. It's part of this industry. It's absolutely normal to have no-shows. Training meetings. So when you do training meetings, people are going to retain the most that they learn in the first hour. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you don't drag your meeting out 5 hours long, but you really want to get to the nitty-gritty in the first hour, because that's what they're going to remember the most. So the main things you want to teach new people is to use the products in their starter package, okay? Because people are going to buy what they try, and you are the best testimonial for your products. If you are representing a company and you're not using their products, how do you expect your friends to buy them? You know, if they're not good enough for you, why are they good enough for your friends? You want to help your new teammates find 10 solid customers amongst their friends and family. You want to set goals with them. You want to set weekly goals, 30-day goals. You know, this is the next position of my company. This is how you get there. You know, we're going to get you here in the next 48 hours. And you want to help them begin creating their warm list. Product training. Your company most likely offers that online. I know that our company offers that online. So again, you know, people can go through social media. They can learn it online. You can show them exactly where to go. Or you can also pull up that, you know, if you've got your team in your house and you're doing a training, you can pull up, you know, your company's stuff that's online and show them that way. So Chapter 8, which was called Unloading the Plug-in Pistol, that was about plugging people into meetings. And again, this was way before we had social media, so this doesn't necessarily happen as much now as it used to happen, but it does happen somewhat still. So, you know, what I got out of this chapter is success in network marketing is the ability to share this opportunity, sponsor these people, and train them. You want to be picky about the trainings that you do send people to. I always send people to corporate events. My corporate people are not going to do them wrong. But if you have leaders in the industry that are doing trainings, make sure that they do, you know about these people. Make sure you've actually seen their trainings, because there are unethical people out there in every single business. There are unethical distributors. There are also unethical leaders. So there are also people that do their own systems and their own trainings and reinvent the wheel, like he was saying, basically don't do. So you want to watch where you send people. Basically, at these meetings, you're just introducing them to the business, helping them pick out which starter package they're going to get, and then coaching the people and guests that your team has brought and showing them how to close the deals. One thing that's very important is constructive criticism in this business. You don't want to tell people what they did wrong. You want to just offer, you know, a better way that they could do it a better way. Long distance meetings. Basically, this business is about friends telling friends, so you want to just stay as involved as possible. Again, we've got the internet, we've got phones, we've got every means possible to absolutely stay involved right now. You want to share with new people how and why you became involved. you know, when you meet somebody, you know, through social media that lives in New Zealand and they, you know, say, how did you get introduced to this company? Tell them how and tell them your why. That's very important, and that's building a relationship with them. One thing you do not want to ever teach people to do, I don't care what business you're in, is to front end load, which means you're telling them to spend $5,000, buy all this product, you're going to get a big, huge discount if you do that, and then they've got a garage full of stuff. Several companies have actually been sued over the years for teaching people to do this, and a lot of companies didn't offer refunds, and they lost in court. You know, you don't want to teach people to do that. People join this business to make money, not to spend a bunch of money. So if you start off by telling people to buy these big, huge packages, you're going to find yourself in the NFL league, which is the no friends left. Integrity, that was brought up in this business. As I was just saying, there are some leaders out there as well as distributors that are dishonest. And basically, you know, there are people that are going to try to recruit your leads and people that you're working with, and they will go to great lengths. They will offer to buy them things or give them contacts, all kinds of different things. But I am a firm believer in what comes around goes around, that you treat others the way you want to be treated. The truth always floats to the top. It might take a while for it to get there, but it will come out. So as a leader, do not ever recruit other people's people, especially, this blows my mind, people from your downline. If I sponsor Kim and Kim's trying to sponsor Stacy, and all of a sudden I just float right underneath Kim and tell Stacy to sign up with me, do you think Kim's going to stay in this business? Do you think Kim's going to even want anything to do with me? So that's an absolute no-no. Your integrity should not have a price tag on it. There is no reason why you should ever feel you need to go to this length to build your business. You know, if you do unethical things, it's going to come back around, you know. And me, I'm out there representing my company, but I'm also out there representing Rebecca Weisenhouse, you know, and I could switch and go to Avon next week and go to Tupperware the week after and go to Mary Kay the week after and go to Scentsy the week after and go to At Home America the week after. I mean, you know, but the bottom line is that if I destroy the reputation of Rebecca Weisenhouse, if I go out there and do unethical and dishonest business practices, it doesn't matter if the hottest company out there comes along and I'm the only one selling that product. People want nothing to do with it because they want nothing to do with me. And you can jump companies all day long, but I will always, until the day I die, be Rebecca Weisenhouse. And once you destroy that reputation, your life in network marketing is over. There's no coming back. So, you know, really take that into account when you're doing this. You know, take pride in our industry, you guys. You know, we get knocked down a lot. People still have a huge negative impact on us sometimes when they say, oh, this is a pyramid scheme, you know, and it's just trying to get out of that. But you know what? Take pride, because we have something that no one else can offer us. We've got the ability to give people freedom, not only financial freedom, but freedom of time, freedom that they own their own time, they write their own schedule, you know. So if you're out there looking for a company, you know, he said have realistic expectations. Make sure that this company has a record of high values. Make sure that they have a balanced front-end and back-end compensation plan, that they have a potential for longevity. And the reason why he brings that up is because we can all see that there are new network marketing companies popping up every single day. Well, 85% of new network marketing companies go out of business in their first 2 years. So you want to make sure that they are a company that is going to be around and not be part of that 85%. You want a company with a global market and no more than average attrition. Now, you might wonder, well, how do I know if a company has average attrition or not? Here's how you know. If their numbers aren't growing, if you can see that their numbers in 2012 and 2013 and 2014 and 2015 are the same, there's a problem there, and their attrition's higher. If they're not growing as a company, that would give me a huge red flag. So you want to choose, in this business, you choose who you work with. If people are unethical and dishonest, why would you invite them to work with you? My first company I was with, there was a gal who actually was terminated from our company because she sold products to several people and never turned the orders in but cashed their checks and kept all their money. That was 10 years ago, and to this day I still hear about it. Her name, unfortunately, has a very negative impact in our community. But a couple years after that, I joined another network marketing company, and this gal joined it. And the person that she joined with was affiliated with her in the previous company, and that absolutely blew my mind that you knew what this person did, but you want to work with them now on a new company. So, choose who you want to work with, because as a leader, that does reflect on you as well. And you also want to look to how your corporate handles unethical behavior. I have, being that I've been in different companies, one of them I left because they did nothing about unethical behavior. They just absolutely turned a blind eye to it, and they just let people do whatever they wanted to do. It was all about who you knew with what you were allowed to do. And I'm happy to say that the company that I'm with now, we did have a situation a few months ago where someone did something unethical, and the company took care of it. The person was terminated from our company, and the company showed me that they're willing to do the right thing when their back's against the wall in the situation. So I appreciate that. So that's what I wanted to share with you about Chapter 7 and 8, and I'm going to turn it over now to Mary. I'm excited to hear from you, so take it away, Mary.
Well, first I wanted to thank you for all of the really nice tidbits that you just tossed our way. There are so many really, really good things that you mentioned, and some of them I know I read the chapter, but I didn't pick them up the same way you talked about them. I've always had a problem with, or a fear that I couldn't be a leader because I'm not sure how to do it. Going through this book and these 2 chapters, they've given me some insights that make it a little more easy to understand, maybe make me a little more comfortable with going forward with the whole idea of trying to show other people how they can do this business. And I think that was one of my biggest drawbacks with signing people up. How do I approach them? How do I talk to them and teach them how to do it? So there have been a lot of really, really good things picked up in the last 2 chapters, 7 and 8. So, I really like this book. I'm picking up a lot of new things. And, I know this book has been out here a long time, but, the information is still good. It's still fresh. It still works. Yes. So, and they had this little section in here called the Yarnell Success Training System. Mm-hmm. And reading through some of that information, it turns on a little light bulb. It's like, wow, this is a lot easier than I thought it was. So I think going through this book is going to help me expand. And thanks for showing me this book and bringing me into it. So I guess on to you now, Miss Marianne.
Awesome, Mary. I just wanted to share with you guys, and I wanted to point out Mary Richardson signed me up in our current business right now. So, girl, you got it in you. You got it in you. When she first kind of shared it with me back in November of last year, I was a little hesitant. But you did awesome because you continued to follow up with me the right way, not in a pushy way, just kind of as a keeping me in the loop kind of a way. And yeah, so I finally pulled the trigger. So, at it, girl.
And blew it up.
Okay, so Rebecca did an amazing job in explaining everything that was in the chapter. So what I wanted to do was just kind of share with you a little bit of my personal experience with a lot of these red flags. And I won't be long because only a few of them really, really caught my eye. And the one was about the hotel meetings, because I was with my very first company, my very first introduction into network marketing was back in 2009. And their system consisted of a weekly business briefing and also a weekly training at a place, and also consisted of one monthly Super Saturday, and it consisted of 2 conventions a year. The Super Saturdays were cool, once a month, kind of connecting with everybody. That was cool. The conventions were awesome. Conventions are just awesome. But those weekly meetings, having to, most of my contacts work full-time jobs, and you had to get dressed up for these things. So it was really difficult to get people to be convinced that network marketing was freedom, and then yet have them get dressed up in a suit and tie to go to a meeting twice a week. So that was a huge obstacle. And what happened was, forget guests. They were really hard to get to those meetings. A lot of no-shows, lots of, disappointments in my early years. But once you did get them signed up, and then you explained to them the system that they had to do these, it was called the core commitments at that time. So you explained to them that they had to attend a weekly business briefing, and the one was held in a hotel, and then attend a weekly training and follow the system. Well, they would be really excited for the first month or so and attend these events every week, but then all of a sudden, the excuses started to, come, like, I had a bad day at work, or I was just too busy at work today, I can't make it. So they were tough. These things were tough to commit to. So I am so glad that our industry has gone so far from 1998, when this was the norm, because it has made it so much easier for us to work from home and build a business from home, because that's what it's all about, and tell people they can do the same. So this was really a big shift, but a great shift. And yeah, so the other one was the low turnout too. Me and Mary and I actually went to, with a prior company a few years ago, we went to an event that was being promoted in a big location. I'm sure this girl, I don't know what this girl spent to put on this event, but it was all done up. She had refreshments, she had coffee, she had juices, she had cakes and cupcakes, and it was just done up. At the end of that event, nobody came. So it's a huge letdown to have to tell your new people that they have to do these type of things in order to be successful, because that could just make or break somebody right there. They could say, oh, forget this, this isn't going to work, because that was a huge disappointment. Let me see. Oh, yeah, the fear of speaking, too. That's a big one. If somebody, Rebecca, you were right on the money with that one, because if working in network marketing business meant that you had to stand up in front of a room and speak in front of a couple of hundred people, do you know how small our industry would be? I mean, to kind of train people that way in the beginning and say that that's the way to grow, not many people would stick around with it. A lot of people would decide that it's just not for them. And let's see. Yeah, I've been invited to those deception meetings too, where you're thinking that you're going to some party, or you're thinking that you're going to a dinner, and then all of a sudden out comes the laptop, and out comes the products, and the flip chart and all that kind of stuff, and you're just like, what? And that's a great way to lose friends. I mean, I just don't do that kind of thing. It's just not a good idea. Pretty much that's about it. Rebecca did a great job in talking about all these other things.
Yes, she
Chapter
did.
8 for me And this is what I got out of chapter 8. Okay, this was the thing that stood out for me the most. He mentioned your brand new team members are like your children. Okay, so if you have a baby, or if you sign somebody up, okay, same thing. So if you have a baby, would you just send them off to be trained and learned and taught by just anybody? Probably not. You want to keep them as close to you as possible. You want to train them yourself. You want to train them on the systems that your company has and not leave them in the hands of somebody else, because that could just cause confusion straight on down line if it starts off that way. Um, and technology, you know, I'm a big technology person. I have to remember that I am recruiting older people. I'm recruiting people who don't stay on top of technology. I cannot get all fancy on these people. I just cannot say, you know what, you need to get a domain name and you need to brand this and you need to do videos, and because that's going to turn a lot of people away too. So technology is great, and social media is great, but it could be scary for a lot of people. So remember, you've got to keep it as simple as you can, and remember the word duplication, because you want to be able to teach your system so the masses can do it. So you don't want to get too technical on people. You just don't. So, you know, I have to pull back from that. I really do have to pull back from that. Um, and then the foreign markets, you know, we're just getting into with technology, believe it or not, we're just getting into foreign countries on our team. So I'm going through this process right now. I've got a couple of people started, and I'm going through the training process of distributors in other countries. So, you know, I'll have to get back on with you on that one, how that one's going to work out, because a lot of times in these foreign markets, especially when you're with a global company like we are, Jeunesse is global. I'm sure there's a lot of people on here that are with global companies. But what happens is when you do sign up somebody from another country, if you haven't built that relationship and if you haven't gotten them off to a great start before you send them to their local area, a lot of times in the book they said that they'll get scooped up and they will be talked to saying that, you know, they can't succeed unless they're with a local market, that it's almost impossible to build with a sponsor or an upline that's in another country. So before, if you're going to, you know, I'm going to be really careful on that. Before you send people to other local meetings, you want to make sure you have that rapport built with your new distributor from another country, that you've trained them pretty well to your system, whatever the system is in your company, you know, before you go letting somebody else or plugging them in to some other team, some other system, because you don't know what's going to happen. You may lose them. So thank you, guys. I'm really glad to be doing this. I'm going to turn it back over to Rebecca so she can close us out. I'm getting really excited, but I'm not going to say it. On our next book, I'm going to wait because the next book, we only have one chapter, I think, left in this book. There's only one chapter left, so I won't mention what book we're going to get into next. But guys, I'm telling you, you are going to want to jump on this Hangout train with us when we share with you what book we are going to do next, because this book has changed more lives than any one book, I think, ever. Okay? So, Rebecca, back to you. Close it out, girl.
Thank you, Marianne. And yes, you know, one thing that we can take from this book is if they could grow the business that they grew when you were sending things in on paper, when your biggest and fastest form of communication was via fax, and they could do it, then there is no reason with the technology we have nowadays why we can't do it. You know, building international, building long distance, building local. not just that, but the fact that every year network marketing is becoming more and more popular. And now in America, 1 in 6 households has someone in network marketing. You know, in Asia, it's someone 1 in 5. In Australia, it's someone 1 in 8. So there's no reason why you can't build a business. It's just a matter of doing it the right way and, you know, knowing the ins and outs. And so we are going to do Chapter 9 next week, which is called Deflecting the Executive Explosion. And that's the end of our book. That's the end of our first book. We've done our personal development. And I was actually going to share with you guys tonight the new book.
Okay.
The reason why I'm going to share it with you tonight is because I'm giving you the week to go out and get it. I know some of you like to go to the bookstores and get them, but I know others like to order it online. And so next Thursday, we're going to close up this book, and we're going to start the new book. So if I tell you the new book tonight, that's giving you the week to go out and get it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Marianne tell you what the new book is, because she's so excited. So I'm going to let her share it.
Oh, I love you, girl. No, I'm sure most of you guys have heard of this book, and I'm going to let you know what it is. The book is called Think and Grow Rich, and it's by Napoleon Hill, and it's changed more lives than any other book of its time. I think it's a 50-year-old book. Probably more. Probably more. I have to check. I read it a long time ago. I'm looking forward to getting started on it again. I was in a different frame of mind the last time when I read, but now I'm in a totally different place. So I can't wait to pick this book back up again. You guys are going to love it. And I'm thinking maybe 1 chapter a week, only because it's very, very, you really need focus, and you need to read this in a place where there are no distractions. You know, and you may have to go back over the chapter and read it again, you know, to really get the whole full effect of it. But we'll talk about how we're going to do it. But yeah, I'm really excited. So the book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Okay, guys, so go out and get it. Get your Amazon or bookstores.
It has a white cover on it, just so you all know. And yes, I think 1 chapter a week for this book is going to be great. I would definitely love to have more people on here sharing their experience as we're reading, because Think and Grow Rich is definitely a book that we could get 10 different things out of 1 chapter. Like, I could take this from it, and you could take this from it, and this person could take this from it, and we're all going to have these huge light bulbs going off in our heads. So I'm really excited about it. So we'll close up next week, and we'll begin a new book, and I hope this was helpful for all of you. Have a great week. Rock the rest of your month, and we'll see you next Thursday.
We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.